an image. Okay. If you try to export from Microsoft Word as HTML, Microsoft Word generates all sorts of weird XML and meta stuff and things like that, and that is not pure HTML. So, when you submit your homework, text is the best approach, but you can't include graphics in text, of course. So if you want to include graphics, if you have pictures, images of one sort or another, and you will have, you have to use HTML plus something like JPEG or PNG, or GIF. I will say this again in somewhat more detail when the time comes. But this is just something you should be thinking about when you're experimenting or when you're reading about CVS. And CVS is really the first important software tool that you're going to be meeting in this course. There are going to be others, but CVS is truly somewhat universal at this point. Okay. Let me say a little bit about language. You might have guessed that this course is going to be given in English. I don't, unfortunately, understand Thai, and when you write things for me or tell me things or ask me questions, it really has to be in English in a way that I can understand. And you can always, by always I mean, for example, during quizzes and during the final exam, you can always use a printed dictionary. Okay, I have not decided about electronic dictionaries yet, but you can always use a printed dictionary. And I am always happy to help you out with English constructions that you don't understand. One of the things that the department wants us to do is to help you to improve your English. So we don't want to be very rigorous about it. We don't expect you to speak perfect English or to write perfect English or anything like that. But we would like you to, well, certainly if we cannot understand it, we cannot grade it. If we don't understand your questions, we can't answer them. But in addition, we would like you to take some attention, particularly in your homework, to being careful with the grammar, to being careful with spelling. You should all have a spelling checker to check whether your spelling is correct. And I hope you didn't look too carefully at my first slide because it had the spelling in it too. That was a computer glitch. Spelling checker is a very easy thing to use, and it's a very valuable assistant. However, what I just said is my general policy. The department has asked us to actually make part of your grade be how well you speak English or how well you communicate in English. And I'm not necessarily in favor of this. I think that how well you speak English already is impacted in your grade without my having to make it an explicit thing. But I may sometimes put a question into your quiz or even into your final exam, which is similar to the last question on your survey. It's a question which you can't get wrong from a technical perspective. The last question says, tell me about yourself, or something like that. Some question which is very simple technically, but which I am going to use to look at your English for. And if I do that, I will tell you that question you should be particularly careful about your English. Because maybe in that one question, I will be grading you. Not today, but in general. Okay? So this is, I want to warn you about these things. And then I suppose I might have started with this slide. Let me tell you who I am, just for those people who don't know. And this slide says, who are we, because this is from our other course.